What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, also known as Master Dominic, and in this video I'm going to hypnotize you to lower your IQ. As in all of my videos, you'll be given a command at the end to leave a comment at the end while hypnotized, so go ahead and log into an account that you can use for that. Mute any distractions, then continue when you're ready to get hypnotized. Alright, dudes, so to begin, we'll get the spiral in front of you, and as you look at the spiral, just listen to the sound of my voice. Then as you listen to the sound of my voice, you'll notice what a wonderful, warm, and masculine, dominant tone and texture that it has. And it has such a wonderful and mind-melting feeling and effect about it. And it just begins to drip and drop right on top of the surface of your mind, and just melt away your thoughts. With each and every single drip and drop of the sound of my voice, you can feel the wonderful, mind-melting feeling that just washes over you, and it just feels so good, so wonderful, so pleasant. And the more that you just listen to the sound of my voice, the better and better that you feel. The more that you feel that wonderful pleasantness that just washes over you, that just courses over you, over your body, and over your mind. It just feels so wonderful, so good. It just feels like lowering into a warm bath, a jacuzzi, a hot tub. The wonderful and the warm water just seems to wrap around you, around your body, and just draw out and drain out all of the stresses and all the tensions inside of your body, inside of each and every single muscle and muscle fiber of your body. And there's something about it that just feels so good. As you continue to feel even more of that mind-melting feeling and effect from the sound of my voice and my words, just melting away your thoughts even more with each and every word, each and every single passing moment, and it just feels even more and more pleasant. It just makes you want to, it just makes you need to drop down, to sink down, just to snap down into yet an even deeper, even more relaxed state of mind, a state of sleep, a state of dream-like sleep, in which you'll just continue to fall down and to float down even more. And the more that you do float down, that you sink down into the state, the more that you can feel a feeling of your mind melting, of your IQ lowering, and becoming even more and more dull, even more and more dim. And yet there's something about it that just feels so nice, so pleasant, so wonderful, and so relaxing. You don't have to, you don't want to, and you don't need to think about anything at all. All that you need to do is just to follow the sound of my voice as you continue to drop down, to fall down, to float down. The more that you float down, the more that your IQ also goes down with you. And as it does, and as you feel that mind-melting pleasantness, and the more that you do, the more that your mind learns that this is a good way to be, just to continue to follow the sound of my voice, and just to take in each and every single suggestion that you do. It just feels so wonderful and so good, so pleasant, and it feels even better to follow those suggestions. The more that you follow them, the better and better that you feel. And very soon I'm going to snap my fingers together. When I do, then you will snap down into an even deeper and more relaxed and more passive state of sleep. When I snap my fingers together and I say that word sleep, it will just come crashing down on top of you, and just like a ton of bricks. That sleep, when I snap my fingers and I say the word sleep, and you'll feel it just coming over you all at once. Your eyes will just close down, shut down all at once as your mind just shuts down. And as you fall down, as you float down even more gently into an even deeper state of dreamlike sleep, then you'll just feel even better, even more pleasant. It will feel even better just to sink down, to fall down, to float down even more into that wonderful warm, smooth tone and texture from the sound of my voice, and that wonderful warm and masculine, dominant tone and texture from my voice just feels so good just to sink into and to fall down into and to float down into. And that just feels so good. That just feels so good as you fall down, drop down, sink down, as you snap down. Now sleep, sleep. as you go down, as you fall down, as you float down even more, and even further, and even faster into that wonderfully relaxed and passive and obedient state of sleep. It just feels so good. It just feels so good. As you feel the mind just continue to melt, to drip down, to drop down, to fall down, just like putty into my hands. That just feels so good. The more that it does, the better and better that you feel. It just feels so good just to take in each and every single suggestion that you do, but even better to follow those suggestions. And yet it feels even better just to take in commands from me. That just feels so good. That just feels so great to take in commands, and I give you an even better to follow and to obey those commands. That just gives you the best feeling of all. And it's just what it feels like to have a master to follow and to obey. Leaving that word of master, that just gives you such a wonderful, a nice and tingly feeling that just washes over you. It just feels so good. As you feel my voice, as you feel the force of my mind even, as it is wrapping around yours even more, coiling around your own mind even more tightly, each and every word just continuing to melt away, your mind just to melt away, your thoughts. It just feels so great and so awesome, so wonderful, so pleasant as you fall down, as you just melt down, just like putty into the hands of your master. And that just feels so great. Just having such a strong, powerful, and dominant, wonderful, warm, and masculine master to follow and to obey. That just feels so good, having a master to follow and to obey. You don't have to, and you don't want to think about anything at all. As your mind continues just to melt, to drip and drop down in my hands, you can try to resist it, but the more that you try to resist it, the more that you just feel even more the mind-melting feeling. In fact, something that just takes you over, something that just completely takes you over, and that just takes control. And yet, as it does, and the more that it does, the better and better that you feel. The more and more that you feel such a wonderful, pleasant, relieving, a relaxing, and alleviating feeling. There's something that just makes the act of thinking so heavy, such a profound heaviness about it. It becomes so heavy that you don't even want to think about anything at all. The act of thinking itself, and carrying the words inside of your mind, they just feel so heavy, heavier and heavier. With each and every word I say, it just feels like there's a force, a gravity in it, that pulls and draws and sucks each and every thought and each and every word that forms inside of your mind, down, and a wonderful, warm, masculine, and dominant kind of fire from the sound of my voice. That it just melts away all of your thoughts, each and every single word, as my words, as my own thoughts, as they replace yours. It just feels so good, so wonderful, so relaxing, so alleviating, so relieving, not to have to think about anything at all. It just feels so good not to have to think about anything at all. Having such a wonderful, warm, masculine, dominant master to follow and to obey. And the more that you do, the better and better that you feel. The better that you feel, and the less and less even that you want to think anything at all. You don't need to. You don't want to think anything at all. You have a master to think for you, and as you feel even more, the force of my mind and the force of my will, the force of my intellect, as it just surrounds your mind, as it just surrounds your will, as it just completely and totally controls and dominates you even more. With each and every single passing moment, it just feels even better and better. Even better and better. And then it just makes you want to simply bow down to the superior intellect of your master. That would just feel so good. That would just feel so great. You can just picture, and you can just imagine it now. That's all that you can think about. Just bowing down to the superior intellect of your master. That would just feel so good, so awesome, so wonderful. and it becomes exactly what you want to do. Exactly what you want to do. That's all that you want to do right now. And in fact, the more that you imagine doing it, the more and more that you can feel a wonderful, a nice, a pleasant feeling that it just courses and pulsates and surges through you. And the more that it does, the more that you just feel your mind, your thoughts, your cares, your worries, tensions, and stresses, they all just melt away even more. They just melt away even more. You don't have to, you don't want to, you don't need to think about anything at all. And now that your mind and your will, your thoughts, and your intellect have all just melted away. They've all just melted away. It just melted away. It just feels so wonderful. So wonderful. So wonderfully pleasant. A feeling of all of your thoughts, cares, worries, stresses, and tensions. And your mind, your will, your intellect, as it just all melts away. You don't need to, you don't have to think about anything at all. And now that it's all melted away, now you are too dumb to think for yourself. Now you're too dumb to think for yourself. Well, you can even hear the words, yes, master, as they just begin to pop up, to surface up, to bubble up inside of your mind in response to each and every suggestion, each and every command I give you. Each and every command I give you. And it just feels so good when they do. It just feels so good when they do. When those words, yes, master, they just pop inside of your mind, that word, master. It just feels so good to hear echo inside of your own mind as you just follow, as you just obey each and every single command that I give you, as your IQ just continues to drop even more and more with each and every passing moment. It just feels so wonderfully pleasant as you feel the force and the power of your master's superior intellect completely and totally overpower yours. As you feel the force of my mind completely and totally dominate your mind, it feels so good. It just feels as if with each and every passing moment and in each and every word that I am sucking out and drawing out your mind, that I'm sucking out your will, that I'm sucking out your intellect, that I'm draining your IQ, and that I'm even adding it to mine and to my power, all of which is fueling the awesome and powerful, overpowering and dominating force of my mind as it just continues, even more to overpower you, to completely and totally overwhelm you, to completely and totally dominate you, and yet it all just feels so wonderful and so good as you just hear the words of yes, master, as they just pop up, surface up, and bubble up inside of your mind in response to each and every single command, each and every single suggestion that I give you. You're just too dumb to think for yourself. You are too stupid to think for yourself. It's so much better just to allow your master to think for you. Thinking is for your master. You can't resist your master's domination. You can't resist your master's mind control. You can't possibly outwit your master. You can't possibly outsmart your master. And all that you can do is just bow down to the superior intellect of your master. It's all you can do is just to obey, to serve, and to worship your awesome and powerful, dominant, masculine, and super intelligent master. Just to bow down to the genius of your master. That's all that you can do. As your IQ just continues to melt, to drip, to drop down into my hands just like putty. The more that it does, and the better and better that you feel. The more that you feel just so good, so nice, so pleasant, and so comfortable, being so dumb and so stupid for your master. And the more that you are, and that you feel that feeling of dumbness, that you feel that feeling of stupidity as it continues to take over even more with each and every single passing moment, the more that you have the distinct feeling that you are, in fact, following and obeying your master. And that just feels so good. It feels so good being such a good and obedient dude for your master. And the more that you are, the better and better that you feel. It just feels so good just to feel your intelligence just lowering, dropping, falling as you become even dumber, as you become even stupider, all in service to your master. It just feels so good. And as you continue feeling even more of that feeling, the overpowering, overwhelming, superior intellect of your master, just crushing and shrinking your own mind, your own will, and your own intellect. It just feels as though you're falling into a state of worship for your master. Well, that's all that you can do, is just to worship the awesome, powerful, overpowering, overwhelming, superior intellect of your master. And that's all that you can do. And very soon, that is all that you will do. As in a moment's time, I'm going to count you back up into the waking world on the count of 1 to 5. And then as I count you up, then you'll feel yourself coming back up into the waking world, though in a nice and half awake and half asleep state. Once I reach the number 5 and click my fingers together, your eyes will open, and you will leave a comment for me. You will leave a comment for me that says, "I bow down to your genius, master. I am too dumb to think, master. Thinking is for my master." You leave a comment that says, "I bow down to your genius, master. I am too dumb to think, master. Thinking is for my master." And when you leave that comment, then it will feel just so good, so wonderful, as you feel a wonderful, wonderful surge, a wave of pleasantness just crashing into you. It will just feel so good, so wonderfully good, just to acknowledge the overpowering dominance and superior intellect of your master. That will just feel so good, and you'll feel such a drawing, pulling, magnetizing feeling that will force you, pull you, draw you to do it. It will just feel as if something is just taking you over. Something is just taking you over, forcing you to leave the comment for me. And you will enjoy the wonderful, blissful state of worship for your master, and the wonderful feeling of this stupidity that has come over you for quite a while, before any part or piece of your mind comes back to you. Before you collect any part or piece of your mind, you'll enjoy the wonderful and the blissful feeling of your stupidity as you just sink into a state of worship for your master. That will just feel so good. Now I'll count you all the way from 1 to 5. Now then, beginning with 1, as you feel a lifting, a rising, floating feeling that begins to come over you. 2, and then coming up even more, getting ready to leave that comment for me. 3, a comment that says, "I bow down to your genius, master. I am too dumb to think, master. Thinking is for my master." And now 4, I'll stall all the way back up now. And 5, eyes open and awake, my dudes. Alright, dudes, check out Dominicator.com to schedule a session with me to get hypnotized, to browse my digital downloads, or to commission a video from me. Catch you later, dudes.